Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to use input from the user using the cin statement. Again, we're going to work with a program that we started before that calculates the percentages or the number of people that buy juice boxes from a company, and how many order apple and how many order fruit punch. Right, and this was based on a survey of this number. So this number is fixed. The calculation, every time you run this program, the numbers, the calculations are always the same, which is not the most useful program. You want some kind of interaction, something to change. To write a program for something that's always the same, not the most useful thing. So we're going to change this program so that it gets inputs. Instead of using this number of customers, we're going to use the user's input. So for that we need another variable, which I'll change to number of customers. Alright, which is an integer, just like the constant that we have up here. Now when you're asking the user for inputs, you always got to tell them exactly what you want. Tell them, so please enter the number of customers. Right, with a space and a quote there, and I'm going to end it there at no end L. Alright, cin is what allows us to get input from the user. The symbols go the other way as opposed to cout, and then you just put the variable where you want the user input to be stored. Okay, so that will tell the user what we're looking for. It'll pause and wait for me to enter a value here. Once I hit enter the value and hit enter, num customers will have that value, right? And then we can use it within our program. So here where we're using that constant up above, we're going to change so it uses the variable with the value that we typed in. Right, does the calculations and does all the displaying just like we did before. So let's run this now again. Alright, so there's the program. Right, it's waiting for my inputs. Right, it stayed on this line because I did not put an endl at the end of this cout statement. Right, so I'm going to type in a value. Right, they hit 13,458. I'll put a bigger value this time. Alright, still waiting for me. I hit enter. Program continues, does the calculations. Right, this is similar to what the constant was, so these values are pretty similar to what was calculated before. So let's make sure we can see a big drastic difference here. If I run the program again, this time put in a very small value, right, and you see the values decrease quite a bit. So these three values are based on this number now. Right? Go back to the other screen that we had here with the larger number. Right? You see there's a big drastic change. Right? So now this program is a little more useful because it's based on what the user wants to input. We can make it even more useful by having them input these values because it might change based on year to year, month to month. They're getting different results. So that would make the program more useful. Alright. So simple one to use there. Right. Another program we started, I'm going to comment this one out and do the same thing with that one just so you see in different styles or different programs how the cin works. So I'm going to uncomment this code now. Alright. So we'll leave the sales text as a double. Alright, as a constant double there. So what do we want to change here? We could change the price of these items. And I'm going to leave these defaulted to what they are. Alright, so you can see a change. But now I'm going to just put a cout statement. Right, and you should put one cout statement for each thing that you're asking for, but a thing that C++ allows you to do is use one cin statement to get the four values. So I want to write one prompt. Enter the price. Right. Well, for the four items. Right. And this time I'm going to end that and I'm going to put in a new line. End of line, and you're going to see that it drops down and the inputs are going to start on the line below. With this cin, I am going to do in order item 1. Right. Another set of greater than symbols there, and then the next variable, item 2. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing it with the other two. So now this program is going to stop and pause until I enter 4 values. Right? So it should ignore all these. right, once I type in new values. Right, so we're going to run this program now. You know what? Before we do that, just so you can see the difference, I'm going to comment these two lines out, run it. So you see what the output is using those values. Alright, and there's those values. Alright, so let's put these back in there now. There we go. So compile it and run it again, and now we should see different values. There's the old one. Alright, and now it's stopped and it's waiting for me to type in values. Now you can see the cursor's down here instead of up here as in the previous program because I put the endl in. Now I can type in some values. Item 1, it was at 10.95. We'll make them small values, 4.34. I can hit enter. It's waiting for the second item. Alright, that was at 8. Let's go really large on that one at 100.90. And I'm going to put a space in and type in the next value. That one, the old one was at 15.34. We'll make that a small one again. Alright, 255. I'm going to hit enter. Now it should only ask for this last value, which we'll put at 756. I hit enter. Alright, and there you see the values as I typed them in. Alright, 190, the 255, and the 756. So what the input is looking for is either a new line, me hitting the enter key here, or a space to separate the two values. So it knows to put this at item 1 because I hit the enter. Then it did sort this line after I hit the enter, but it knew that this up to the 90 was the item 2 price because I got the space here, and gave this to the item 3 and then this to the item 4. So the user, it doesn't matter how the user types them in. I could have typed all 4 values in on one line. It knows to separate them to item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4 for you because of the way you wrote this statement. Alright, so just showing you it can be entered multiple ways. You don't have to do anything special, and you can see the calculations change based completely on the values we entered now. Alright, you can see the subtotal jumped quite a bit because of the $100 value in here. Right, and so the other values are larger also. Alright, so we can do CN on multiple lines. I could have put C in item 1, C on item 2, C on item 3, C in item 4, all on separate lines if I wanted to. I could do it with 4 prompts where one said enter the price for item 1, boom, and I have a C in with just item 1. Then I have another C out saying enter the price for item 2. Right? Either way, they all didn't work. The interface is there. Ideally, I prefer not to see this. I don't think it's as clean as doing each thing individually. This way the user knows exactly what you want. Right? That you're looking for item 1, you're looking for item 2. Right? Especially if these were like a hammer, a saw, and other things of tools of that nature or something like that. You want to tell them specifically which one you're looking at the data for on the input. Right? So using the input's pretty simple, and moving forward we're going to be doing that quite a bit. Alright, so good luck.